Hey, welcome everyone to my first ever tech privacy focused video. This is the first of many to come in the near future. Now, if you want to see the written version of this video, you can find a link to my website in the video description. In fact, in my website, in the video description where you can find it, on the website article on my website, I'll have links to all the news sources of information I'm gathering. So I highly suggest you check it out if you want to see more information there, because the information I'm going through is very disturbing. A lot of people have heard about this, some have not, but the ones I've heard about it still continue using Meta services, which includes Facebook, Instagram, even Oculus Rift to a certain extent, and WhatsApp. WhatsApp I'm going to save for another video because that's got its own set of issues. But we're going to be focusing on the dark history of Facebook, Meta, and Instagram, and how Instagram and Facebook is getting worse. It's going to get access to your camera roll without even uploading photos. Yep. Actually, sorry. That is being rolled out right now in Canada and the US currently. So before we dive into this video and just explain how horrible it is, and you should really consider deleting some of these social media accounts completely or just never sign on if you've never done it. Some people might think I'm contradicting myself because I use those services. I hate social media. The only reason I have accounts on these services is to promote my YouTube channel. But if you look into those accounts, they're horrible. They're terribly updated. I just don't care for social media. Otherwise, I would delete my accounts, which I'm really contemplating lately after researching the content for this video that you're watching. Here's the problem with social networks you need to ask yourself before we dive into the content of this data. This is a comparison to show you how bad it is coming up. If someone came up to you on the street and said, hey, I want to look at all your public photos you have on the internet, even though I'm not friends with you, I don't know who you are, that'd be pretty disturbing, right? It'd be kind of freaky. You'd be like, this is a creep, get away from me. But that's exactly what you're doing. You're giving it all to Meta, and then they sell that data. Now, what if another person came up and say, hey, I want to see all the pictures on your camera that have not been uploaded to the internet, the stuff that you don't want to upload, stuff that is not safe for work, or maybe stuff of your children that you don't want to share on the internet. You'd be even more disgusted and think this person's crazy, and you probably run away from them. But that's exactly what's going to happen with Facebook and Instagram. In fact, it's already happening here in Canada and the US. So ask yourself, why are you comfortable giving all this information just for some likes on these social networks when they're treating you like trash and literally selling your information? They're selling everything about you, your pictures, your videos of you, your children, your family, everything possible that you give them. So that's enough ranting. Let's dive into the information. As I said, all these source links will be in the video description on my website link itself. So starting in 2018, in March 17, the New York Times and The Guardian reported that Cambridge Analytica, a company that no one really heard about, had access to millions of Facebook profile data. This is up to 87 million profiles from Facebook accounts that apparently Meta and Facebook didn't know about. They're like, we didn't know they had access. If for those of you who weren't aware, just shortly before that, WhatsApp was an independent company and then was sold to Facebook for billions of dollars. And then after this Cambridge Analytica thing came out, the WhatsApp co-founder Brian Acton urges Facebook users to delete their accounts just because the privacy was just so horrible at Facebook and Meta as a company. Still in 2018, the New York Times reveals the scope of data sharing deals Facebook has had with numerous tech companies, including Apple, Microsoft, Samsung. I don't understand why people think Apple has great security and privacy, because Apple sells and collects your data. They're just like any other company, they do this. For some reason, people are hardcore Android users and Google users. They know Google knows everything about them. But a lot of people I know, friends included, who use Apple products think that they're private. You can say no wrong about Apple. That is 100% false. And this article here is proof and evidence to that. In fact, a lot of people seem to forget about I think it was iCloud as one of their storage services. The iCloud hack, where everyone's private photos were uploaded and leaked, especially celebrity photos. Look it up. It's all over the internet. A lot of not safe for work celebrity videos and pictures were shown and exposed in some very scandalous manner. That was Apple getting hacked. But then a couple years later, when people slowly start forgetting about that, almost every part of their marketing campaign for a new product always advocates privacy and security. They just kind of swept that under the rug. Apple is not your friend. They're selling your data, trust me. Still in 2018, on December 18th, the New York Times reveals that Facebook offered more of its users' data to companies, including Microsoft, Netflix, Spotify, and Amazon, than previously revealed. Netflix and Spotify were reportedly given ability to read Facebook users' private chats. How disgusting is that? January 29th of 2019, Facebook pays teens to install VPN that spies on them. They basically incentivizing teenagers that, hey, we'll pay you to use our VPN app, because basically what it's doing is scraping all the data. So every single thing you're doing on the internet. Still in 2019, March 21st, Facebook reveals it didn't properly mask the passwords of hundreds of millions of its users and stored them in plain text in internal database that could be accessed by Facebook staff. Some people would say that they're not too tech savvy, but be like, this is just a mistake. They should have, never let that happen, but mistakes happen, they're human. When you're designing a system that stores passwords, one of the first fundamental things it should do is have it so that that data cannot be accessed by anyone, including staff. It should be encrypted. This is not just a simple user error. This is simply just not caring at all on Facebook staff's part. Now we're jumping into 2021 of November 2nd. Facebook shuts down its face recognition tagging program. This is a service that had been around for many, many years, but they finally shut it down. It seems like the main driving factor for this is because the move follows a lawsuit that accused Facebook's tagging tech of violating Illinois' biometric privacy law, leading to a $650 million settlement in February. This is interesting because the ability to scan your unuploaded pictures, so your private photos in your phone, which I'm going to talk about here in 2025's information. If you look at the Meta's AI terms and service, it specifically says you should not take pictures of people in Illinois and then upload it to our AI. I think it's because of this lawsuit and they lost $650 million. That's absurd. Jumping over to September of 2024, social media companies engaged in a vast surveillance. FTC fines, calling status quo unacceptable. Basically, companies including, but not limited to, Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Snap, ByteDance, Discord, Reddit, and WhatsApp were, part of this investigation from the FTC, in which that FTC document was 100 pages long, detailing information about how these companies are collecting sensitive data on their users and using them for advertisement purposes. So December 11th of 2024. Now this one is really takes the cake. I mean, the underage paying of VPN users is one thing, but this is a whole new level of disgusting behavior. So Meta has this technology called Metapixel that basically when websites put their Metapixel code on websites, it can scan what they're doing on the website. So if I were to go to a website, it'll actually scan how much I'm scrolling up and down the page. Where am I pausing on the page? What am I looking at that point? So, and then we can use that for marketing purposes for this person. What are they clicking on? What address and information they're putting on? And telehealth organization called GoodRx. The plaintiffs in this case argued that the health information related to medical treatments and prescriptions communicated through GoodRx was disclosed to and accepted by Meta and including companies like Google. So basically, this company, which collects personal health information, was selling the data to Meta and Google. The companies buying that data, Facebook and Google, nothing happened to them. It's kind of strange, although they should be just as guilty in my opinion. And Gemini is turning on my phone. I gotta figure out how to turn that off. It's spying on me. Still in the same timeline and year, a company called Boston Globe Media Partners LLC. I'm not familiar with what they do or what services they provide, but essentially some sort of video streaming service. Apparently they were using Metapixel data to send over to, you get it, Meta, and they were charged $5 million in a settlement suit because they were basically sending information about which person's first name, last name, and email was being used to access these videos and what were being played. The other ones I didn't really cover because they were class action lawsuits. They weren't found guilty. They didn't pay a settlement. Okay, so now switching over to the current issue here in 2025. What is the problem? Meta AI wants to access your camera roll, analyze the pics you haven't uploaded. Facebook has been using your publicly available data, including your posts, photos, and comments to train its AI since 2007. Not surprising. It's public information. You put it on the internet for posting, it's going to do that. That's not shocking to me at all. If you look deeper into the source article, which is TechCrunch, here's the disturbing part. You basically get a pop-up like this on your Instagram app or maybe your Facebook app, one or the other, depending. And as of right now, so this video recording is only for Canada and US, but it'll probably expand globally. What happens is that you get this pop-up message saying, hey, you want to make better collages and photo effects and blah, blah, blah. Hit allow. But by hitting allow, what people don't realize is that this specific wording that is so vague that basically you're giving access to your unuploaded photos. So the photos that are not uploaded to Meta services can be scanned for AI. As a pop-up message explains, by clicking allow, you'll let Facebook generate new ideas from your camera roll, like collages, recaps, AI restylings, and photo frameworks. Okay, I already said that. Sorry, photo themes. To work, Facebook says it will upload media from your camera roll to its cloud, meaning a service, on an ongoing basis, based on information like time, location, and themes. What that basically means, it's gonna every so often scan your camera roll or your gallery, which is called on Samsung devices, and then send it to Facebook servers to scan under its AI. Even stuff you do not want to share on Facebook or Instagram. It's also gonna scan all the pictures and videos of you, your children, your friends. It's trying to scan, maybe you have the Eiffel Tower behind you or the CN Tower. It'll know you're in Paris or you're in Toronto at the CN Tower. And then of course, if you read the terms and service about this, it basically says that, I mean, this part is not shocking, but anything that you upload to its AI service becomes their property and their data. They can use it however they want, whenever they want. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people in my close circle of friends and family It's usually mothers, like the wife. I don't know why. It's usually the mothers. They want to share pictures of the kid, but what they try to do is be clever. They try to put like a heart or smiley face on their child's face, so you can see their body, but you can't see their face. That won't matter because Meta's going to scan your entire gallery or camera roll, whatever you want to call it. So even before you have the chance to edit it, it's already scanned your child's face. So how do you get around these issues? Like, these are major concerns. Well, there are steps available, but this seems to only work on the Facebook app, which I can't do because I've uninstalled the Facebook app a little while ago. But I'll put a link to this article here directly into the video description. I can't find steps on how to do this for the Instagram app, but it doesn't matter. I'll explain steps to mitigate this privacy disgusting behavior right now. So what is the first thing you can do? Stop using Meta services. No Instagram, Facebook, whatever. A lot of people are not going to like this suggestion. You have to get your likes. You have to know what everyone's doing 24/7 in your friend circle. I get it. Well, actually, I don't. I think it's weird. It's weird behavior. So what's the next thing you can do? Don't use the app. Just use the website. Because by using the website, they can't access your pictures on your computer, right? The website is just enclosed in your browser. When you close the browser, you're good to go. Again, that's not going to work for a lot of people. So what you can do is actually a few things. You can adjust permissions in the actual applications on your phone. Now, I don't have an iPhone or iOS device, but I did some research and this is what I found. I guess this is what you iPhone users can use, is adjust the permissions. I'm not sure how to do this. Just research this thing. But basically what you want to do is adjust the permissions for your Meta apps like Facebook and Instagram and adjust it. So instead of having full access to everything on your device, it has limited access. And what you can do is, I don't know if you can do this easily on iPhone devices, but copy pictures from your gallery where you just took the pictures and copy it over to your limited access folder. That's super easy to do on a Samsung device and Android. So let's demonstrate how to do this on a Samsung device. So I'm using a Samsung device with Android, but of course Android has different flavors based on the manufacturer, but the steps should be relatively the same. While I'm in settings menu, I'm just gonna look for the Instagram app. The easiest thing for me to do is just type in Instagram in the search function. If you don't have this, it's usually under the full list of applications that you have, and you open it up. Okay, so here I can see some information about the application, including permissions. What I'm gonna do is click on permissions, and then here you have photos and videos, which was allowed in the past 24 hours because I was testing for this video. And here it's the same concept as iPhone. Instead of saying always allow all, you want to change it to allow limited access and hit the pencil icon. I'm not going to do that right now because then it'll show my own private pictures in this video. I'm too lazy to edit it out, but that's basically going to do. So when you do that, you hit the pencil icon, you can choose which gallery and which section of your gallery you want it to have access or not. But that doesn't really solve the issue because in the gallery, because that's where the photos are, that's what the app is called on Samsung devices. You want to create maybe a folder called Instagram or whatever, or public. I don't know. So every time you take a picture, you edit it, move it to that public folder or Instagram folder, whatever you call it, and then it's placed in there. So even if this AI garbage tries to scan your photos, you don't care because you plan to post it anyway. And that's pretty much it. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, check out my social links in the video description, ironically as I say that. Hit the like button, subscribe, it literally helps my channel grow. And maybe consider hitting the super thanks button, which is just below this video player. Donating to this channel helps me because I'm doing this on my own time, researching this information for your benefit. Again, no obligation, but it would be appreciated. And that's pretty much it. So take care and thanks for watching.